Hey everyone, it's Jen with Timeline Tarot. This is your sneak peek for 2026. Each of the zodiac signs will have their own video. I've set the intentions to be for Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. So I do encourage you to view all four of them. If you're not sure what your placements are, in the description box is a link where you can obtain your free birth chart. I will be doing more in-depth quarterly readings for members of the Time Travelers program. And if you don't know what that is or you'd like to become a member, you can also find more information about that in the description box. Remember, these are general collective readings, not individualized nor personalized to you. Messages may come through today that don't fully resonate, and if that happens, it's okay. It just means that one message is meant for someone else. So take what fits, how it fits, leave what doesn't, and be sure to check out your other placements. With all of that said, let's begin. Hello, Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. Let's take a look now at your overall energy for 2026. What is the overall energy here for the Libra collective for the year of 2026? Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. Let's get one more shuffle here for you, Libra. Thank you. Okay. Your overall theme, energy now for the calendar year of 2026, we have round and round. And at the bottom of the deck, we have mending. Cards number 52 and 25. Interesting. Same numbers, just reversed. Okay. Let's take a look at love now for the Libra collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. If something is not mended or healed within you, Libra, it looks like you will be repeating the same cycle in 2026 in some aspect or area of your life. Let's take a look at love now. What is the overall love energy here for love and romance for the Libra collective? This would include your platonic connections as well with friend and family members. Let's get one more shuffle here. Thank you. We have happiness. I am aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. And at the bottom of the deck, we have imagination. I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. I'm noticing the circle here. I'm noticing the circle here in happiness with the dolphins. And then we have the round and round card as well. Okay, might be repeating a cycle here, or there's the potential here to repeat a cycle. Let's look at career and finance now for the Libra collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements for 2026. Career and finance now for the Libra collective. We're going to get one more shuffle on this for you. Okay. Thank you. We have butterfly, sudden change, frivolous spending, short-term loan. And then for the career aspect, we have arts, movement, temporary jobs, or fun work. And at the bottom of the deck, we have candle, ambition, taking action, hustling, manifesting money, career aspects, management, high rank, visibility, and athletic. What I do like is that the candle card is giving me like an ace kind of feeling. So I think for some of you, you have the potential to enter a new career or maybe even advance in your current position or change your finances in some way. And then on that butterfly card, we have the two butterflies. Interesting. We also have two people here on mending. All right, let's get into tarot now. Remember, it's a collective general reading, so just take the messages how they fit to you. But we are clarifying round and round, card number 25, with that underlining energy of mending, card number 52. Happiness, I'm aware that being happy means that I am on the right path. Imagination, I embrace and nourish the creative aspect of my mind. Butterfly, sudden change, frivolous spending, short-term loan. Ambition, taking action, hustling, and manifesting money. For the Libra collective now for 2026. One more shuffle here. Thank you. We have the Ace of Pentacles. I knew that felt like an ace to me. We have the Ace of Pentacles. We have Justice. We have the Nine of Cups. We have the Two of Wands. We have the Knight of Swords. And we have the Ace of Swords, 2 out of the 4 aces in a super simple 6-card spread. At the bottom of the deck, 6 of Cups. That's sort of this revisiting the past. Again, whether it's career and finance, love and romance, we're going to take a look. We have the Page of Swords, and we have the Death card. That is that scorpionic energy here of the butterfly. That leaves the 9 of Wands, King of Cups, 7 of Swords to Judgment here at the bottom of the deck. This is sort of what I was feeling. You have the potential of reliving an existing cycle in your life that actually would prohibit you from advancing forward. I almost feel like you have an opportunity to change the direction of your life. Instead of doing the round and round, you have an opportunity, or you will have an opportunity this year. 2 of Wands can talk about future planning, contemplating leaving something in the past behind and moving forward towards the new Ace of Wands, a new beginning. And then we have that Ace of Pentacles. So whether it's in love and romance, career and finance, or some other aspect of your life, could be relocation for some of you with that Knight of Swords. Sometimes the Knights talk about movement or moving. Again, we'll see when we clarify. But you have the opportunity to either claim this, create it, or obtain it from another source. If you choose to go in a different direction. What is that Ace of Pentacles here? Like, you don't have to keep repeating the cycle. You don't have to stay at the same job. You don't have to live in the same location. You don't have to stay in the same connection or connections in your life. Tell me more about that Ace of Pentacles. One more shuffle. Thank you. We have Temperance. We have the 9 of Swords. And we have the 4 of Pentacles. So bottom of the deck, we have Queen of Cups. So if this message is already resonating for you, and we have a lot more to go here, you do feel stuck in a particular aspect of your life. You do feel like you're going round and round, kind of Groundhog Day energy. And there's a part of you that would like a new beginning. You would like to be able to clean the slate, if you will, and start off clean. Again, in some area or aspect of your life. And although you would like to do it, you also feel like, but I can't do it, or you feel prohibited from doing it. And it troubles you. You think about it a lot. You think about leaving this home base of the 4 of Pentacles, whatever that comfort zone is for you. You would like to venture out and create that Ace of Pentacles or obtain it. You also know that if you move in that direction, it's not something you can do overnight. And that's why Temperance is there. It's fire energy. There's a passion within you to move in a particular direction, but you're tempered. Like, well, I'd like to, but I can't do it just yet. And I'm really up in my mind if I want to leave behind something that has been a comfort zone. But again, there's no growth there. If we're looking at all the round and round cards, there's no growth there. And that's okay if you want to stay in that kind of situation, environment, or connection. But Source is telling you if you want to change your life, 2026 is the year where you can do it. 2 of Wands. Tell me about this future planning or what this new chapter would look like. Anything for Libra to know about this? See, even in the 2 of Wands, which is very different. Typically, in the 2 of Wands card, we see an individual, sort of like in this card, right? Standing on a balcony, if you will, or a turret, right? Or a turret balcony. And there's a feeling here of I would like to leave the past behind. But typically what we see is the old Ace of Wands, if you will, tethered to the castle wall. And the individual's holding the Ace of Wands in one hand, and they have the globe in the other. This is different. In your deck, you're still holding on 4 of Pentacles to the old Ace of Wands. The new Ace of Wands is there, but you haven't quite grabbed it yet. This is further clarified by the Queen of Cups, the 4 of Swords, and the Knight of Wands. And that would be your card of movement. 2 of Pentacles, the Emperor, and the 2 of Cups. So there is a new partnership that you would like in your life. Again, whether in career and finance, love and romance, or if that just means the community that you live in. Like, I'd love to have different neighbors. You have the opportunity to do this. And a part of you intuitively knows, I could do this. I could really do this if I wanted to. But 4 of Swords to the Knight of Wands, again, you seem to be sitting on your hands, if you will, from either making the decision or just taking forward action. I'm going to clarify that more for you to see why that is. But whatever you're dealing with currently, where you're like, it's Groundhog Day, I'd like to get out of here, Source is letting you know the opportunity is there. Even if it's one that you need to create for yourself or save money Four of Pentacles, like I would really like to move. Trust me, I'm there. I'm your cousin sign or, you know, sister sign here of Gemini. I'd love to move. Can I do it overnight? No, I have to Four of Pentacles, save my money, right? Conserve my resources in order to do that. But this is the year I'm choosing to do that. Like I'm actively choosing to save money, look for different income streams, other things I can do. You know, I have another friend of mine who's thinking of moving, and she's like, my job is so hectic. They're always asking for me to work overtime. And in the past, she used to hate that. But this year, she's like seizing every opportunity. And then on the weekends, which typically she has off, she's decided to clean some homes in the neighborhood, just again, to make some additional money. So she is really hustling. So you can do that. And we actually have the hustling card here. So there are opportunities out there. Again, if you just, you know, maybe expand your mind a bit or think a little bit outside the box. I mean, she's a teacher. She certainly never thought that she would be, you know, cleaning people's homes on the weekends for extra money, but that's what she has chosen to do. And it's working out quite well for her. She's you know, we're all a year and a half into the new year, but it's working out quite well. And she has a pretty good idea or an estimation of how much money she'll have by the end of the year. So when her lease is up, she will be able to move to a better neighborhood, to a better apartment complex. So again, it's that feeling of she could stay where she's at. She doesn't have to work the overtime. She doesn't have to go clean houses on the weekend, but she's choosing to do that. She's choosing when they have these new curriculum classes and stuff or little projects, and they need an extra teacher, or her first hand is up, like, yep, I'll be there. Even if it's just like assisting with band or getting paid a little extra to do like field trips, like to be a chaperone, and she doesn't have classes that day or whatever. She's like, yep, I could do that. So again, she's looking for different sources. So if it's something like that for you, no one is saying you have to do this in one day. I mean, she knows that. I know that, right? We have to save money sometimes for the things we want. And for some of you, it could even be like a vehicle. Knight of Wands to Knight of Swords could talk about that in terms of travel. But again, the opportunity is there for you to create that money, or like I said, save that money, or conserve on existing expenses. I don't know if it was your reading or someone else's. I said, I just decided to go through all of my creditors, right? All of my service companies. And I was like, you know what? I really don't use this. Closing that out. Really don't use this. Closing this out. You know, the provider that I use for my TV, I'm like, I don't watch half these channels. So I kept a service, but I cut it down to eliminate those channels. I mean, I've saved a lot of money just by doing that because I was paying for things and memberships and stuff that I really didn't need. And I kept the stuff that I do need. Like there's some astrology classes that I take, and I pay for, you know, I pay for that. But there were other things that I didn't really need. I was like, gonna reduce that or eliminate that. And I just feel like if you're feeling stuck, and it's monetarily why you're feeling stuck, there's new opportunities out there for you. If your job is okay and it's a comfort zone, but you would like to make more or have a more exciting job, there is one out there for you. But again, you would need to apply yourself to find that new job. And for those of you where this is a relationship with that Queen of Cups, you don't have to stay stuck and go round and round and stay in a relationship that's maybe not reciprocal or not treating you well. Like maybe you do want a connection where there's happiness and there's joy and there's imagination and there's fun. And you could feel tied to this person with that Justice card. You know, financially bound, contractually, maybe it's a marital agreement thing. And again, there is an opportunity for how you can get out of that. There is a plan that you personally can create that's crafted and tailored to you, so you don't have to stay in it. So basically with the message that I'm getting here, very loud and clear for the Libra Collective, there's an aspect or maybe several aspects of your life you're not happy. It's a bit of a comfort zone, but there are opportunities for you to get out and expand and maybe even leave behind something or someone, but you would be moving towards something better, more exciting, and even more stable in Pentacle energy. Tell me why the Justice card is here for the Libra Collective. One more shuffle here. Thank you. And now this is in regards to love and romance. We have the Three of Cups. Well, that does talk about happiness and being in harmony and harmonizing with your person. Two of Cups. There's your person. And then we have the Magician. So for a lot of you, Eight of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Before I speak, let me clarify the Knight of Swords. Tell me about the Knight of Swords. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Knight of Swords is clarified by the King of Pentacles, the Four of Cups, Oh, two cards came out here. Page of Wands and the Four of Wands. Bottom of the deck, the Hangman. So I'm going to read this two different ways because in this respect for love and romance, I think I have two groups of you, maybe even a third group. I have a group of you where you're single and you very much would like to have a connection where there's imagination and fun and we're going out and we're doing things. And I feel like you're manifesting this person because you're currently single. And you're not manifesting, or you shouldn't be manifesting from a place of loneliness, like desperation, like, oh, I just need anyone, give me anyone. This is, I want a lifelong partner, and that King of Pentacles, could be Queen of Pentacles. I don't read body parts, but I want someone who's solid and stable and in it for the long run. Maybe someone I can marry or share a residence with, but possibly have children with that Page of Wands, or maybe combine families if you're older, or just the two of you against the world. So in that respect, with that Four of Cups, I could be speaking to a Libra where you very much would like an equal. You want someone to settle down with because you want to be happy. And I think in that respect, with that imagination card, I'll pull some extra cards for you on that. I feel like maybe you need to use your imagination on how you can find this person. Maybe there's different ways to find that type of soulmate that you're looking for. Maybe the online dating scene isn't for you. Maybe it is. Maybe you've never tried it. Maybe that's something you should try. Again, using your imagination. Maybe you don't typically like to go out, but maybe you can find a community group in that Three of Cups where you can go and say, you know what, I'm not just joining this community group in the hopes of finding a love partner. I'm joining this community group because I want to get out there, maybe do a little good in the world, help my local community, get aligned with an organization who matches my, my values or traditions or something like that. And you very well, by joining that Three of Cups, would meet a Two of Cups. So again, using your imagination, thinking outside of the box, volunteering somewhere, something like that could actually call in that soulmate because they're there waiting for you. You already have, the similar likes when it came to that particular organization. So for some of you, and that would be like close to home, right? And when you meet that person, you're like, oh my God, you've been here this whole time and I never even knew it. And it's like, well, yeah, Three of Cups, you kind of had to venture out into your community and meet them. So again, just think outside the box if you're looking for that person. I do believe you have the potential of meeting them this year. I have a group of you, no lie, you are already in a long-term committed partnership with that King of Pentacles to the Justice card. Now, you could be married to this person or maybe just have your resources tied up with them or you share residence, but you're not particularly happy in the Four of Cups. Part of you daydreams about what it would be like to be with someone else, whether you know them or not. And it's coming just from this place of feeling emotional lack in the current connection. In that respect, again, if you're going round and round, go back to that round and round, and you're in a committed partnership of some kind, and it's not moving, and there's no growth, because the Four of Pentacles is, we're solid, we're steady. I don't mean we're going steady. I'm not using 1950s lingo, but, we're solid, we're steady. There's some structure here, but it's mundane. It's not changing. Maybe your partner's not open to that. Maybe with that Seven of Swords that we saw at the bottom of the deck, something happened on your side or their side, which altered or changed a connection. And it's really hard for the two of you to get back at it. Again, there's an opportunity for you to branch off. And obviously that would pursue some kind of legal remedy for those of you who are maybe have finances tied up or you're married or something like that. But the type of soulmate you want is out there, whether you know them or not. You would be able to manifest or call them in after you depart from this connection. The Page of Wands, in that respect to the Four of Wands, would be maybe in order to make this move, the first thing that you need to do is secure new housing for yourself. And that can go back to reducing your expenses and starting to save some money so you can do that. Oddly, I do have a group of you where you are in a partnership or will be in a partnership in 2026. Remember, this is predictive in nature. And although you're happy with your partner and it's solid and it's stable, it's not very exciting. And it doesn't matter whether you've been with the person for a year or 10 years. It just it's grown a little stale or stagnant. In that respect, you could use your imagination, Page of Wands to the Four of Wands, to re-inject some happiness. Getting out there, going sightseeing, all local to home. Page of Wands to Four of Wands. What can we do around here, around our home, or like within our community that can be a little bit explorative, or go for drives or picnics, when the weather gets better, if the weather is better, depending on where wherever you live in the world. So there's something like that where you could bring justice and balance and reharmonize the connection by using your imagination and creating some fun, localized, low-cost play dates for you and your person. So take all those messages, how they apply to you. So yeah, if you're meeting someone, let's say in June, just throwing that out there, and by the end of the year, you're like, I really like this person. I mean, I'm happy with them and they're stable and I could see this relationship moving forward, but life's kind of getting in the way. The holidays are coming around, right? It's the end of the year. You can come up with some creative ways, like I said, to maintain the spark in a connection. I've been with my person now 5.5 years. We were just talking about it yesterday, about just coming up with some new ideas of little things to do because it's winter here and it starts getting a little mundane. You know, you're stuck in the house all day. There's nowhere really to go, but we found a couple places where we actually could go and get out of the house and enjoy one another and, you know, I don't want to say bring back the spice because we haven't lost the spice in the bedroom, but, you know, just kind of introduce some new experiences to us instead of just going to work and being home, going to work, being home. So again, it's just using your imagination to do that. And as an air sign, you should have no problem doing that. In fact, if that is your message, that justice card is you, then this is, I don't want to say your responsibility, but you're well within your power or authority to do that, to bring back some imagination back into the relationship. So you're not just going round and around in a connection that you're happy with, but it just kind of has lost its fizzle. I feel like you have the ability to bring back the spark. Butterfly, let's take a look now at your work. 9 of Cups and the Ace of Swords. Tell me about the 9 of Cups here. One more shuffle. Thank you. 9 of Cups. We have the Moon. We have the Fool, and we have the Wheel of Fortune. Hot damn. Bottom of the deck, you have Queen of Swords. Clarify the Ace of Swords. If you're looking for new avenues of income or a new job, it's out there for you. Do you have to take the initiative and go look for it and get your applications and resumes out there? Absolutely. Do you maybe have to use your imagination to find the job you quote unquote love? Absolutely. But is it there waiting for you? No doubt. Even if it's just, again, we have that fun work or a temporary job, little side gig to make some extra money, to maybe get yourself out of a situation you're not happy with. It's out there for you. Judgment. You just need to make that judgment call within and say, whether you're happy with your job or not, whether you need a little extra money or not, if you want to transform your finances, it sure as hell is out there for you. Judgment, the Devil, and the King of Wands. Bottom of the deck, the Ace of Cups. But you have to put in the effort. The Devil card is Capricorn energy. That's Saturn in Capricorn. And so high vibrational Capricorn is someone who really puts in the work. They put in the effort. So if you do put in the effort this year, and it doesn't mean you have to leave your job. Maybe you like your job, but there's another position or another department you want to be transferred to. Again, if you put in the effort, and with that King of Wands, maybe getting a little creative. Again, we go back to using that imagination. You might be able to call some good attention on yourself at work and get that promotion that you want. You certainly can use your entrepreneurial spirit, your ideas, your imagination, and think outside the box and find another job for those of you where you're not happy with the current job you're in or the current industry you're in. But again, you'll need to really put your shoulder into it and be dedicated to finding that new job or the temporary job, or again, maybe some additional sources of income from maybe some short-term positions or short-term jobs, like my friend who's cleaning homes on the weekend. There's something here for those of you, if everything seems to be okay in your life, but there's a financial thing, like maybe you want to buy your own home, or like we had said, the vehicle message came up earlier. There is a different way for you to acquire money in terms of a loan. So maybe it's not just the traditional going through a mortgage type of thing. Maybe there's like a private loan company or private equity company that you could look into. Again, it's using that that imaginative and entrepreneurial spirit of the King of Wands to come up with different ways on how to acquire funding for a home purchase or a vehicle purchase, or maybe even going back to school if that's something you want to do to sharpen up your skills or learn some new ones. I feel like the message here across the board is if there's something that you're doing in your life or a relationship you're in, and it has grown mundane, or you're not happy, or you're not satisfied, or the love is lost, or something Seven of Swords behavior happened on your part or their part, even though it's been in your life for a long time, if you're going round and round, there's no traction, there's no movement, the other energy or energies that you're tied with at work or in your home life or in your relationships are not changing, and you don't want to go round and round. Page of Swords, the Death card, the information, the intel is out there for you to change it, to figure, you know, how you can make more money, how you can leave this person, how you can divorce this person, how you can spice up the current relationship. It's literally at your fingertips. So there's something here you're doing or you have done, or someone that you're with, again, you're not happy with, or you want to spice things up. You can end it, death card, and move on to something new. Find this new thing, new person even, or find new ways on how you can transform it and improve the current living situation, job, or relationship. Ace of Cups here at the bottom of the deck. Everything I said is the absolute truth. But I feel like your strongest message here, Libra, is you have the power to change. You can't wait for anyone else to change. You can't wait for Source to just drop that, you know, magical new person into your life, or reinvigorate the spark in a current relationship, or even, you know, exit this connection if that's what you want to do, or transform your job in some way. It will require you to put in the effort. But if you put in the effort, Source will meet you there halfway. Absolutely. Magician to the Wheel of Fortune. Magician is your energy, because a magician is someone who has all four aces. So it's using all your tools and resources to change whatever it is here in your life where you're going round and round on, and you've been doing it for quite some time and you want to change it. Magician energy is like, okay, you put in the effort, and the Wheel of Fortune's like, universe responds by, okay, it's divine timing. We're gonna make this happen with that Fool card energy. We're gonna give you the new beginning that you desire. So change is yours. It's yours for the making, and it is yours for the creating as well. I want to get you some advice cards, and then we'll close it off with the Infinity Oracle cards. Yeah. I was going to do the Infinity Oracle cards first, but I'm kind of being told to do the advice cards first. So let's do that. This round and round energy of yours. Oh, you know what I wanted to do? Thank you for reminding me. I wanted to clarify mending. Can you clarify mending here for the Libra Collective for 2026? Thank you. Seven of Swords. Yeah. There's something in your life that you either have been doing a long time or you're existing in, which is no longer beneficial to you. And situation, environment, connection, pattern within you even. It's no longer beneficial to you. I just saw the Page of Cups and the Star card. Tell me more about mending. One more shuffle here. I also think it's holding you back. Seven of Swords, Three of Swords, and the Hanged Man. And you've been sitting in whatever this is for a long time. Bottom of the deck, Eight of Pentacles. And you still show up for it. You still show up for the job. You still show up for your family, for your community, for your loved ones, for your friends, whatever this is for you, for your marriage. But I had a feeling there was some Seven of Swording going on there. Whether on your part, their part, combination of the two. But it no longer serves you. You can see this from a different perspective in that Hangman energy. Something better or someone better is waiting for you. But it does require you. The Hangman does talk about often looking at something from a different perspective so we can gain the confidence we need to let it go, to sacrifice it in order to have a better job, a better living situation, or a better relationship. For some of you, you had something happen in childhood, because I'm looking at the two children here, and only one of them, well, both of them have butterfly wings, but one, their wings are down, the other one, the wings are up. And then we got the butterfly card there as well. So for some of you, you could be holding on to some type of heartbreaking situation from childhood that you've never fully processed or healed from. And that is playing into why you are existing in a current situation, environment, or connection that you're not particularly happy with, or you're afraid to move on from. And I remember when I met my person, there was something like that where his parents had divorced very early on. He did not have children with his wife, but he was very reluctant, though, to move on. And the whole thing at the time was, well, I don't want my mom or my family to think I'm like my dad. So, there's something like that at play. And even with my ex-husband, the same thing. Like, if I didn't ask for the divorce, I probably would still be in the marriage, because there was something tied to him, some type of shame-based thing about divorce, that he did not want to get a divorce. And he was just as unhappy as I was. So it could be something like that for you. Or maybe you have had someone triangulate you as a child, comparing you to your siblings, comparing you to the neighbor's kids, comparing you to your cousins. And so you find yourself stuck down a situation, environment, or connection because in some way it keeps you like almost like in competition with that. Like it's become part of your framework. In other words, I can't get a divorce because then I have to start over. Maybe I go from a house to an apartment, and everyone knows me as someone who lives in a house. And I don't want to be compared. I don't want anyone to be like, oh, look at Libra. Libra ended up like this. Libra ended up like that. So just take, these are just collective general readings. Take them how they resonate to you. But there's a pain in your heart whenever you incurred it, whether it was in the past year, in your childhood, or sometime in between then. But for a lot of you, you're continuing to perpetually exist in the Three of Swords. And at the end of the day, Source is just telling you you're actually sabotaging your future more than that one Three of Swords moment did, because you're not allowing yourself to move forward from it. And with a little imagination and a little ambition and a little work, a little effort on your part, you would be able to heal that wound and move on from whomever or whatever this is. You have the full capability to transform your life. You don't have to stay stuck and stagnant. And you don't have to exist in a situation, environment, or connection that's emotionally or sexually or financially depleting you in any way, or taking advantage of you or abandoning you. There are options and opportunities out there for you. We had 3 of the 4 aces on the table. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, and we saw the Ace of Cups. All you have to do to change it all is grab the Ace of Wands. That's all you need. That's the last ace that you need, Libra, to become the magician and turn or create your life into the direction you want it to go in, or into whatever it is that you want it to become. The power totally resides within you. All you have to do is grab that 4th ace. Okay, now let's get you some advice, and we'll close it out with those Infinity Oracle cards. Nice reading for you. It's a tough reading, but it's a nice reading. It says you don't have to continue living this way. Source wants better for you, but you have to want better for yourself as well. Can we get some advice for the Libra collective here on that round and round, please? Advice for Libra on round and round. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Emperor. Justice. 4 of Swords. You can do this. You can get out of this stagnation. You don't have to live Groundhog Day in whatever area or aspect this is. Emperor to Justice, and you are Justice. It's fully within your grasp to change this. But there's a cause and effect here. If you don't put in the Aries energy of do, of action, of grabbing the Ace of Wands, which is Aries energy, right? If you don't do that, then you're sort of just sitting on your hands and letting another year go by where you're going to relive the same year you had last year that you weren't particularly thrilled or crazy about. So there's a cause and effect. The imagination and effort you put into changing your life, or whatever area of your life this pertains to, that will give you the effect that you want. That will give you the result that you want. But you need to do this. You need to take control of this. If you're passive, you won't receive any changes. So you're kind of sleeping on the Ace of Swords. You're sort of sleeping on your new beginning. The 4 of Swords is also the 3rd decan of Libra, which I feel is like a triple down message of it's well within your power to change this. I'm going to draw you a couple of different cards for those 3 groups of you. So those of you who are single, those of you who are partnered and not happy, and those of you who are partnered, you're happy, but you want to spice things up in your relationship. So for my Libras who are single this year and who want to manifest this person, again, think outside of the box with that imagination card. If you do anything creative or get involved in anything creative, again, a community group, a church group, a religious organization, something like that, I feel that's where you meet this person. 3 cards of advice, one more shuffle. Thank you. Ace of Swords, that's what I said is the truth. Think outside the box when it comes to meeting this new person. Knight of Swords and the Strength card, bottom of the deck, the Tower. You meet them almost instantly whenever you join this group or whatever it is here that you're doing this year. I knew someone once who decided, they were a painter back in my days when I was living in Florida after high school. And she very much wanted to be a painter. but she never really had like the courage to like exhibit any of her work publicly. It was always just stuff that she did at home, and she'd hang up on the walls and, you know, give out to friends and stuff. And then there was this big community project, and back then we used newspapers, and there was an advertisement like calling all creatives, right? Anyone who could paint or draw or had imagination, to come on down to the local community center. And I said to her, you should really go. They're going to paint this beautiful mural in downtown Hollywood, Florida, and you should really be part of it. Maybe even if you, and she was like, I don't know, I don't want my work to be judged. And I said, well, just go and be part of the roundtable discussion, you know, and you can just feel like you're contributing in that way. Even if you never want to pick up a paintbrush or anything like that, maybe just getting out there and meeting some people and sharing ideas would be good for you. She met her person and they're still married. It's been 30 years. So tells you how old I am. But it could be something like that. But I feel like venturing out into your community and getting involved in something creative or something fun or something that aligns with your values is where you're meeting this person. I think the two of you start chatting it up very quickly. Is it going to take a little courage on your part to get out there and get, you know, look, maybe get out of a comfort zone in that Four of Pentacles? Yep. But do you meet your person? You do. Tarot card, like literally on the first day. So I would consider doing that. For my Libras who are currently in a connection, they're not happy, round and round, some type of Seven of Swords, Three of Swords, betrayal took place or damaged a connection in some way, and they want out, but they need to use their imagination to get out. Advice for my Libras in that type of situation. One more shuffle here. Thank you. In that type of relationship, 10 of Wands, you can't see it, but there is a way out. 7 of Cups, there are different avenues for you to get out of this relationship or this marriage. Oh, 3 cards came out. Queen of Cups and the 3 of Wands. Again, it will take your initiative to do this. The 3 of Wands actually is astrologically the sun in Aries. So you can't see it now because you feel trapped in that 10 of Wands. Ace of Cups, yep, that's the truth. But a little imagination. I mean, 7 of Cups could talk about imagination. A little imagination, putting in a little effort, you will be able to move forward from this individual. And you can do it in a compassionate way. You don't have to be cold or cruel. And for some of you, there's a water sign waiting for you, whether you know them or not. As soon as you venture out. You have a water sign waiting for you. For some of you, that Queen of Cups is the 3rd decan in Gemini. Some of you have already begun talking to this person. You might not even see them as a love interest. And I just say that because Gemini rules communication. And we saw that Mercury card there in the Magician before. So, yeah, some of you, you're already talking to this person. They're waiting for you. And if you're not talking to them, you don't know what the heck I'm talking about, then that Queen or King of Cups is waiting for you, like energetically speaking, waiting for you to move on from this situation. Use your imagination, how you can come up with ways to reduce the burden. So you can go from 10 Wands to 3 Wands and you can leave this. And for a lot of you, it's monetary based. So seek out new avenues on how you can save money, make money, be frivolous, be very careful with your spending, and by the end of the year, you will be able to move on from this person. For my Libras who are in a partnership or will be in a partnership this year, they're happy, they like this person, it's stable, but maybe they need a little imagination, creativity, maybe even bring back the passion in the relationship. What can they do? One more shuffle here. Thank you. 7 of Wands. 9 of Cups, how lovely, and the Lovers. Oh, Ace of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. There are lots of ways, and I don't know why I'm getting this. I think because the 7 of Wands card sometimes could talk about challenges, but there are things that couples can do. Again, some type of like team building stuff would be fun, like going to an escape room or any type of like group activity like that, paintball, something like that, where the two of you are doing it together as a team. I think that would be really good to like restore the happiness and even the passion and excitement in the relationship. It would help the two of you realign with one another. I'm not necessarily speaking for those of you where you've had 7 of Swords to 3 of Swords. If that's the case and you still want to keep the connection, Can I get 3 cards of advice for my Libras in that situation? Honestly, I don't know why you would want to keep the connection, because I feel like once someone steps out, they will always step out. And they usually return back to that person. I'm telling you that from advice. But if you want to make it work out, you have the divine gift of free will. Let's get you 3 cards of advice here. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The 5 of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, and the King of Swords. Bottom of the deck, the Hierophant. If that's what you want to do, I feel like you're going to need a third party. And I don't mean you need your own lover or they need a lover. I think you need a third party. King of Swords to the Hierophant. This could be a therapist, a counselor, a religious figure to become an intermediary between you and them. The grief, the loss, the sadness, the remorse of what transpired needs to be discussed delicately with someone kind of playing coach / referee between the two of you in a safe environment. Hierophant could be like a safe, steady, stable environment. And that's why I think about counseling, therapy, or some type of religious leader or organization. You can even see if your community provides some type of service like that. Some towns do if they're larger, depending on where you live in the world. That is the only way you're going to be able to successfully move forward in the relationship. If you bury your head in the sand, it's just not going to happen. And again, King of Swords is you, whether you're masculine or feminine. And whether you did the 7 of Swords or not, it would be incumbent upon you to talk to your partner or spouse about this. And it would be incumbent upon you, like your responsibility, to then make the arrangements for this to happen. That's the only way you have a shot at making this work. There needs to be a discussion. We need to bereave, meaning we need to grieve what transpired there in the past. But King of Swords, we need to understand why it happened and how we both failed at the relationship. Not just them, not just you, not just whoever did the 7 of Swords. There was a breakdown in the connection before someone stepped out here. And that needs to be fully addressed and acknowledged. And both parties need to own their parts. And then you need to start dating one another again. Almost as if the marriage or the long-term connection never happened. And that's usually the hardest thing to do. And that's why I feel like without some outside resource here helping you, I don't think it's going to be successful. 9 of Swords, every time they leave the house, you leave the house, someone's going to be thinking about it, panic-stricken, anxiety, and then we have the Judgment to the Fool card. At some point, one of you will decide to leave the connection, because the Queen of Wands is a third party. When I'm doing a third party read, the Queen of Wands is typically the energy of the third party, whether they're masculine or feminine. It's not me, it's just kind of how Tarot designed that. So if that's not discussed, whoever stepped out is going to step out again once they feel the coast is clear. So without this, making sure that we are aligned and we have the same goals for this relationship, that means dealing with what took place back there, healing it, bereaving it, grieving it, but then we can't beat up our partner or be beaten up by our partner verbally speaking. You know, they can't always hold it over your head and you can't always hold it over theirs. You totally need to rebuild the connection, Fool card, from the ground up. And if that doesn't happen, the betrayal is going to happen again, either with that other person or with someone new, because there's an unhappiness in the connection that's not being addressed. Let me get you some cards now for career and finance, okay? For those of you where you're currently employed, there's an opportunity here to advance, to change your job, or to make it more fun. Now, you're going to have to take action, be ambitious, step into the role of the King of Wands, make yourself visible, right? That candle card talks about visibility. So you'll need to operate in a way where you're standing out from the rest. You're not like every other person in a cubicle or wherever it is that you work, you know. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Your advice, the Moon, the 5 of Pentacles, and the 4 of Pentacles. Bottom of that, King of Cups. If you don't do that, and it could be a little nerve-wracking for you, like, well, I don't really want to stand out. I don't, but you may have some really great ideas. And again, use your imagination, maybe at the next meeting or something like that. There's a way for you to say something. And I actually feel that you end up with an increase here, because the 5 of Pentacles talks about financial loss or living in poverty or not making enough money. And the 4 of Pentacles could talk about security. It could talk about stability. But again, that's the 3rd decan in Capricorn. You're going to have to put your shoulder into it and get a little outside the box and allow yourself to stand out in the workplace. and not exist in the shadows or fear of being seen. So if you currently have a job, you like it, but you just wish you could make a little more money, there's something here about stepping out of your comfort zone, sharing your ideas with your boss or your higher ups. Obviously, do your due diligence, right? Pentacle resource to make sure whatever it is you're proposing is solid. But yeah, I see you securing an even better position. For my Libras who are at a job that they don't want to be in. They don't want to be in. They want a new job. What do they need to know about that? One more shuffle here. Thank you. The Nine of Wands, having the courage, Three of Swords, and Two of Pentacles to move on from this job. Now, for some of you, you can birth King of Wands to the Empress. You could birth your own company. You could literally become your own entrepreneur here. But it's going to take ambition. It's going to take time management. That means working the current place of employment and creating this side job, if you will, this entrepreneurial opportunity here on the side. And it can leave you a bit ragged if you do that, because you're essentially working two jobs. But Two of Pentacles, with good time management, you will be able to do this and heal your financial worries. And by the end of the year, you will be able to leave this company and like launch your own business. That's definitely there for you. Yeah, Eight of Cups, leaving that business and then launching your own, maybe in Cancer season. And by the time you get to Sagittarius season, you have a full-blown company that you own, you run, and you're making money at. So if you have felt that calling to do that, with good time management, you could keep the job you have, which is structured and stable and solid in some way, and venture off and do something on the side there, where you can then launch your own business and be highly successful with it by the end of the year. For my Libras who would just like to make a little extra money, any advice for my Libras who would like to make some extra money? One more shuffle here. Thank you. Two of Swords, First Deacon and Libra. So if you're feeling financially blocked, one more shuffle here. Thank you. Page of Cups. Look at that. Five of Wands came out in the reverse. I typically don't have the advice cards in reverse, but this came out in the reverse. I love this because the Five of Wands in the reverse is avoiding the conflict, meaning avoiding financial issues and increasing focus on one particular goal. And if you do that, you have a new job offer come in. So again, it could be like my friend who's just looking to, clean houses on the weekend for extra money. Again, I'm not telling you to do that, but there's something like that here at play. So if you increase your focus on that, Five Wands in the reverse, like you beat out the competition and you're able to make some side money, and Page of Cups, even if you're retired, this could just be something you do on the side. It's fun. It's creative. Page of Cups is creative, fun energy. It could be something like that. Like, let's say you are a retired Libra and you live in a, retirement community or something like that. There could be something fun, or I don't know, around the pickleball courts or something, that you can do. That's fun, exciting, and makes a little extra money for yourself. And for those of you where you have a job, but you need some extra money to get out of, whatever this situation, environment, or connection is, it's definitely out there for you. Knight of Pentacles. It would be something routine, like like my friend on the weekends. I hate to keep bringing her up. I'm trying to give you examples. So it would be a routine. Okay, every Saturday I'm going to do this. It's fun, it's creative, and it's a new way for me to make some money. So think about all of that as well. Okay, let's get you 3 final cards of advice, and then we'll pull you those Infinity Oracle cards. Any final messages here for Libra? One more shuffle. Thank you. Oh, we went really long on this. I'm so sorry. Ace of Wands. I'm not even going to pull another darn card because I told you, you already have the 4 aces. The Ace of Pentacles. There goes my nose itching, so this message is so on point. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, and Ace of Cups. All you have to do, see here in the Two of Wands, you're holding on to the old, and the new Ace of Wands is right there. It's just waiting for you to grab it. Once you do that, you have the potential, all aces are potential, Tower moment, to radically change your life and have a new beginning. That's fun and exciting and passionate and raw, and where you're in the seat of power. You're controlling the change. You're controlling the new chapter. And this is Mars energy there in the Tower. I also see it as scorpionic energy as well. And Mars was the former ruler of Scorpio before they changed it to Pluto. But anyway, either way, you can radically transform anything here in your life this year. or completely change it up. But you have to grab the Ace of Wands. Once you do that, you have all 4 aces, and the life you want is instantly yours. And doesn't mean you don't have to put some effort into it or wait a little bit for it or be patient, but it comes to you. All I have to do is grab the ace. That is what I have for you, my dear. Beautiful way to end this reading. Oh, the oracle cards. Thank you. Let's close this out with 3 oracle cards. I think you had the most in-depth reading out of all the ones that I've done so far. One more shuffle here. Thank you. So I'm kind of glad that I waited to do yours, Libra. Positive change. It's there, but you have to create it. Dark night of the soul. Go within. Think about what you want your life to be like. And again, for some of you, this is mending this 3 of Swords, 7 of Swords that happened in childhood or a current connection or somewhere in your life where you're still holding on to it. It's time to mend it and let it go. Go within, heal it and let it go. And then whatever it is here that you manifest, it comes to you. Bottom of the deck, healthy boundaries. Maybe that's what that situation, environment, or connection had to teach you for some of you. But if you go within, you figure out what you want your life to be, and you put a little effort, this is the year, you can literally change it. And again, with that manifest card, create the life that you want. That's what I have for you, my love. That is your 2026 predictive reading. If you like those messages, they resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of them, please be sure to click like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hype the video if you're able to do that. Don't forget to check out the description box to find out how you can be a member of my Time Travelers program. I release 48 exclusive readings every month for the collective on that for all 12 zodiac signs. So until I read for you again, my dear, I'm sending you light, love, and peace.